good, y'all? So in this video, I'm going to be reacting to how Drake's label just proved he is going to lose his lawsuit. I saw a couple people reacting to stuff regarding like UMG. I guess they responded and said something, but I'm not sure what it was. So we just going to get into it and see what they talking about.
Drake, as we are getting even closer to witnessing one of the biggest moments in hip-hop history with the Super Bowl, and both for Kendrick Lamar and Drake, things have never been getting better or worse. For Drake's place in all of this, while he is already freaking out about the fact that Not Like Us is seemingly going to play at the Super Bowl, which now the NFL has doubled down on themselves. Beyond just the record that has ruined Drake's career playing in front of one of the biggest audiences you can ever put anything in the face of, when it comes to Drake's lawsuit with his label and everything he has been doing there, which has created a whole other entire mess for him, what's now more than clear is that Drake is really taking on way more than he could ever handle, because while some of his fans have tried to push the narrative that the claims he was making about Not Like Us would scare the industry and help him get his way so they can avoid any sort of controversy, what we are finding out now is this couldn't be further from the truth. Is in response to his defamation claims, which are all centered around the success of Not Like Us, UMG has responded to him with not just a statement this time or some simple action, but for his 81 pages, they handed him 144 pages of information.
Fuck? What the fuck? 144 motherfucking pages, bitch. By the way, didn't he say on like XQC's stream that on the exact day, the same day of the Super Bowl, that he was going to be starting his Anita Max Win tour? Is that still happening?
Believes in the future of Drake's career, and with the choices he has made, they are ready for it to be over, as well as the rest of us. And now, before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now with Drake, after becoming the
Fantastic Hip Hop hates Drake. He just hates him. You know, I can just tell. And I might have my feelings, but sometimes I be like, dang, bruh.
laughing stock in hip-hop, because with all these moves he has made to file paperwork in response to losing a rap beef, he has just lost the respect of everyone, because of course this is the most anti-hip-hop thing you could ever do, as it dispels what this genre represents in its very essence. Now beyond just not being respected by his peers and the people themselves, when it comes to the one group that Drake has been trying to win over with all of these ridiculous claims, which has been the higher-ups and the suits, even they are beginning to laugh him out of the room like we have never seen, because with what UMG has now responded to Drake with, they have shown that despite everything he thinks and how he has believed that even after losing in hip-hop, there is still something he can run to in an attempt to change the reality of what we have all seen, he is bound to lose in this situation in an unprecedented fashion, because in this lengthy counterclaim UMG sent out to Drake's second pending suit, which is accusing Not Like Us and his label of defamation by the Code of Texas, beyond any back and forths or claims that are pulling at nothing, Drake is now being dismantled by nothing but pure hard facts to prove that every single claim of what he is saying is wrong. And beyond just Drake being on the losing side of this thing, they are starting to paint the picture that Drake is deliberately trying to push a false narrative and manipulate the system all for his own gain. Which, even if you're trying to do this to save your reputation and career, by purposefully presenting information this way, it can get Drake into even more trouble than any of us have ever thought. And really, what's so shocking is that with this specific case Drake is in here, which this is the one with his label that is coming from Texas, this one is starting to look even worse for Drake, as his attempt to lie to everyone and try to do whatever he can to validate what pretty much is his own fiction is really starting to crumble before his own eyes, because with what Drake is trying to do by calling his label out here in Texas specifically, it really is a new low for him, because first off, he is trying to use the fact that he is now a resident of Texas, which is something he seemingly did and revealed this summer in preparation of pushing this narrative, so that first off, he is not just going.
Oh, that reminds me, at the pop-out, if y'all watch the pop-out in any way, because it's, you know, it got blocked on YouTube, but they had it on Amazon for a minute. In Kendrick's like rendition of Euphoria, he said he switched it to one of the lines from 3 hours to 2 hours, and people were saying that's because of Texas, and I was like, bro, what about Texas? But maybe this is it.
Label as Drake the rapper and celebrity, but that's so he can try and frame himself as Aubrey Graham, who is just a regular person when he is here. And this in of itself is some shady stuff, and when we see that Drake seemingly did plant the seed for this months ago, as he tried to prove that he has a bigger footprint in this place than he actually ever has had, It just shows that while he was releasing more lazy and sloppy music all this time, he was planning something, although it was a lot more embarrassing for his rap career than any of us could have ever expected. But beyond just that, in the greater sense, and what's most important here is that Drake has been trying to position himself as a regular person here to again frame this song and its effects in a different light, which is once again showing that even when we are beyond rap and petty antics, he is still doing anything he can to manipulate higher powers and systems way more than most people would ever even try and think of. Even this measure he took here, which he seemingly thought he was genius by posting on his Instagram so cryptically, has now worked against his favor as well. Because before UMG even goes into how Drake manipulated all of this to play out here, they instead approach this entire case Drake is trying to build by using the exact same code he wants this thing to fall under, and really just working against Drake more than anything else. They then use Drake's own playing field against him. As with all of the claims Drake is trying to make about UMG and Not Like Us, they have seemingly countered Drake and told him that if he goes any further, he will lose this thing because Drake has violated an actual act that Texas citizens are supposed.
Wait, UMG is calling for the dismissal of the case to the Texas Citizens Participate Act, which protects citizens from retaliatory. Anyways, lawsuits that seek to silence them from expressing freedom of speech.
First place. And it's really just so telling about where the time we are at, that even when Drake was trying to push all these claims and thought that with lining up multiple suits against his label that because of the different angles he was playing, at least one of them was going to work, that with this case, which Drake thought he clearly would be able to play a more sympathetic angle from, and he is seemingly trying to make bigger because he has not dismissed it yet and is still waiting for it to move forward, the label that made him a star has now picked apart his claims and has submitted official documents that just melt down the cases he is trying to make and ultimately showcase that on the highest level you could possibly express in word, that Drake's character really is twisted and that he is now just trying to take away the ability for free expression because of his own frustration about what happened. And really making things even worse for Drake, as his label also pointed out that he has no proof whatsoever of them doing anything to make Not Like Us an even bigger hit record than it was that didn't just occur naturally. Altogether now, with everything they have put against Drake, they have managed to put into paperwork what the people all say, which is that these claims about Not Like Us having so much success and such an effect on his career just sounds like nothing more than someone whining. And again, knowing the context of everything which has also been laid out by them is his label doesn't just understand how hip-hop culture perceives rap beef, but also how the rules have worked. And even more detrimental to his case, how Drake himself has been a part of these same issues in the past, and even on the other end, which ultimately shows that he has benefited from doing the same thing Not Like Us did. Overall now, with the way Drake's label is responding, they are now coming at Drake from every single approach possible, and painting him out to be an absolute hypocrite who really is just emotional that he lost the most watched lyrical back and forth of all time. And I mean, really.
And the thing is first of all, 144 pages has a lot of information that I want to... I'm not reading all of that, but I want to see a very detailed, I don't care how long the video is, detailed breakdown of each of the lawsuits and the what's countering what. I know he's giving like a pretty quick synopsis and trying to, I think the video is only 10 minutes, but I really want to get into it because in the original lawsuit, when people were like covering it and just saying like, oh, he spoke on reactions or whatever, when you go deeper into it, he also mentioned TikTokers and listed the TikToker names and the views that the TikTokers got. He just did a lot more than what was like publicized. So I'm just interested in seeing like more in depth of what everything he said and everything that UMG responded with. Because once you get over like I guess the bigger things of the bigger talking points, even the smaller things are ridiculous and you're just like, oh, this is sad, bro. This is sad.
Really, with what they are doing, they are 100% right. And now beyond just everyone siding with the record label, which in of itself just shows how far gone Drake is and how wrong he really has been with this entire thing, the fact that beyond back and forths and what we all think, that we are now seeing the groundwork be built up, which is officially painting Drake out to be someone who was foolish enough to try and lie and manipulate the system in his favor on the highest level possible when it comes to proving what is true and what is not. Overall, as we see Drake's label go back and forth with him in this case and also with his suit in New York and whatever else he may do in the future, because we don't know what else he has up his sleeve.
Girl, he needs to stop. Go to sleep or something. I don't know. Take a nap. Delete your phone. Throw your phone away. Just stop. Okay? Lock yourself in the house for a good, 6 months. and reevaluate, because this is actually, it just gets getting sad at this point. Like I initially, just him losing was like, man, like what the fuck? Releasing like not good music, doing everything else that he has done, the little sub tweets and sub Instagram posts, all of that. But now this is actually like what the hell is going on?
Moving forward, keep your eye on this exact angle and how all these violations Drake is committing are gonna build up on one another more and more and end up just creating a picture of him that, beyond just being a loser in rap beef or even being a musician who has fallen off, is just gonna make him look like an awful person who is a serious liar and who is willing to twist the words and truth of the matter in any way he can as long as it involves his own gain. Because with his label starting to use actual codes and practices to both prove that Drake's claims are not just false in what they are saying, but that he is now actually violating the rights everyone has when it comes to how they choose to express themselves. I mean, Drake asked for this, but he is now in some nasty territory, and this is only going to get a lot worse for Drake, as beyond hip-hop and the music industry, people are going to look at him everywhere as someone who does not respect the fundamental rights we have to express themselves. And really, in this system and in this era, where more importantly, when there's a situation like this, it is vital to build an image of a person who is in question and what their motives may be, as this entire situation gets bigger and we see more and more go down. Just wait and see how this exact angle is going to get expanded on, and it's going to ultimately build Drake into a figure who is more disliked and disgraced than we ever thought losing a rap beef could make someone, and overall, as this is the reality we are facing, and as despite Drake only getting proven to be more of a liar every day, he has shown at this point that he is not going back on his claims and that he is going to see this thing through no matter where it goes. Well, what's clear is that Drake's entire career, legacy, and name are on the line, and as we enter a time where he is about to be in the public eye even more, both with this case, the Super Bowl and everything centering around playing Not Like Us, and with a new album that he is seemingly teasing, well, altogether, things are going to get a lot more interesting as this only becomes a bigger story, but overall, from hip-hop to beyond. As Drake is now being proven to directly be someone who has planted all the things he did to try and build a false case, where he is just misreading reality to try and convince greater powers than any other rapper has ever brought in to help him. If his label is already going this far to expose him and break down these claims, as things only get bigger and the consequences and stakes only get higher, we are ultimately going to see a lot more happen to him that is going to mark the end of everything he has stood for more than anything else ever will. And so now, with all of that said, let me know, what do you think about Drake?
Like I said before, if he would have just kept releasing like bullcrap music, I'm not even gonna lie, if he was just releasing bullcrap music, I feel like people would have like kind of chilled out, and then, you know, maybe when he releases his next album, maybe it would have been like not terrible, so people would have been like, oh yeah, Drake back, all that. But all of the other moves that he has done and the things that he's doing is so lame that I feel like Kendrick don't even have to do anything for real anymore. He doesn't have to take shots. He's digging his own holes. He's fucking it up for himself. Like it's so ridiculous, bro. Like I don't know. And I saw a video of like RDC saying like you got to learn how to take an L, and that is, if you just like took your L and like just moved on, people will, I promise, eventually forget because something else will happen. And that's just that. But doing all of this, everything that he has done has looked crazy. Period. And the lawsuit was just the cherry on the top to be like, oh yeah, you're actually a bitch. Like you're pissing people off continuously, going after certain artists that like LeBron. I guess I don't know. I don't want to get into that right now, but just very interesting, odd, whatever. Anyways, y'all tell me what you think. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see y'all in the next one.